Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, and the. Well, wait a minute, but you moved to Broward now?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's why you're still late. You're still
in
kind
like a month and a half, give or take.
Okay, so that's right. Maybe you'll be more on time when you get to Broward in the.
Hey, I've been here for 3 minutes listening to you talking about linebackers.
Yeah. I was laughing because Kelly goes, "Look at David Long and Jerome Baker, but do they have depth?" And I'm like, first of all, let's see if they can get starting linebackers on this team.
Bro, that is such a interesting starting point because I've been basically staying off Twitter for the most part for like the past 5 months, man. Like I've not been tweeting. My follower count was literally exactly the same as it was when I entered the offseason. Like I haven't been tweeting at all. And yesterday I saw Warren Sharp put out a list, right, of the best front sevens in the NFL. And he had the Dolphins at number 1 and the 49ers at number 2. And I called cap. I was like, look, man, I think the Dolphins front seven can be good. I think they're quite good. But there's nobody in this league I'm taking over
the Niners.
Like I'm not taking anyone over a team that's got Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, and Nick Bosa in the front seven. It's not, bro. So but people, at least a group of people were like actually upset about it. Like
they have one linebacker that's better than all the linebackers we have.
They have 2 linebackers. Dre Greenlaw would be the best linebacker on this team, bro. It's not even close.
I know.
They arguably have 4 players that would be better than anybody in this front seven.
No. The Niners. I knew.
Bosa's not a debate. Warner's not a debate. Greenlaw's not a debate. And Hargrave or Javon Hargrave, maybe.
You're not going to get any argument here, bro. I said it before you said it because I knew where you were going. I mean, there's no way anybody's better than the Niners. Nobody.
Dude, I was astounded, bro. Like, and if you guys like, I'll just let you insight on how I view Twitter, how I use this app. Like, if you see me like continuously going at people, not going at people, but like engaging with people, it's because like my mind is blown at the response. Like, I didn't think that was going to be a hot button issue. I didn't think that was debatable at all. That's like Bills fans getting mad if you say Mahomes is better than Josh Allen. It doesn't mean Josh Allen's bad. It means Mahomes is on a tier by himself. Like the Niners front seven is a tier by itself. We're not talking about whole defense here. Whole defense, I think we can have a real conversation because I think the Dolphins have the best secondary in the NFL. So like it closes that gap a lot more, and that I think it's a push then when you're talking about all 11, but front seven, bro, like this is not a
no.
It truly, like, I had to stop because it was like the person I was like arguing with, it was like I felt like I'm trying to convince somebody that 2 + 2 = 4, and he's trying to tell me it's 5. And I don't know how else to explain this, bro.
Plus, it's actually irresponsible because Miami hasn't proven it yet, where San Fran already proved it, and so it's just and it's not like they lost half their defense to free agency or something like that. No, their defense is back intact, and it's awesome.
They added to it. They lost the linebacker. They lost Al-Shire, I think went to the Niners, but like their defensive end opposite Bosa still had 5 sacks last year.
Oh, I know.
So like it again, I don't know, man. But I'm also like I don't like the Niners, dude. I grew up a Raiders fan. I hate the Niners. I hate the Niners almost as much as I hate the Patriots, just from my core growing up. So it's hard for me to admit good things about the Niners, but like, bro, it is what it is.
All right, let's get to the hot and heavy story. Jalen Ramsey. I don't know about you, but I'm putting out some feelers. I'm not getting any response from the building anywhere. So are you hearing anything? I'm not ready to say it's terrible because you never know. It could be, a slight tear. It could be a pull. It could be a strain. It could be a hyperextension. It could be lots of things that could only take a couple days, a couple weeks, and he could be back. So I'm not going to overreact on this. But I'll tell you this. I'm not hearing from anybody in the building, and that doesn't make me feel good. So that's all I can tell you.
Like, it is this was funny as well, and I see the comment that like All right, Marcel. We only want to know about Jalen Ramsey. Shut up about the Niners. Uh, this was interesting because there was some rumor going around on social media that it was a cramp. I shut it down on Twitter. I will shut it down again right here. This was not a cramp.
No.
Now, like the width of possibilities does not begin and end at cramp and torn ACL. Like just because it's not a cramp doesn't mean it's a torn ACL per se. But this was not a cramp. I
No,
saw
man,
him collide with Tyreek Hill.
you know how they work cramps.
Yeah, like
They get your ass on the ground. They rub that shit out right away and all that, and you get the water and you're fine. That was no cramp, dude.
yeah, it does make me. It makes me laugh sometimes when like people tell me that like I either don't know what I'm talking about or that I'm wrong. When like I saw it, like I was looking right at it. I was trailing Ramsey and Tyreek the entire way because it's a good on good rep in team drill. So they collided mid route. Can't tell if they knocked knees or just tangled up, but there was some incidental contact mid route. Looked like as Tyreek was trying to cut in. They both went down. Tyreek popped up. Jalen stayed on the ground for a little bit, sat upright, kind of was rubbing his knee, got up, tried to shake it off. And, it wasn't like he was writhing in pain or like keeled over and back and forth. Like he was trying to walk it off. And it seemed like something that he's like, nah, like I can't push through this. So he takes himself out of the play and, off to the sideline where medical trainers, athletic trainers, they're looking at his knee. They're looking at his knee. And like, I am not myself a trainer. I am not a kinesiologist or sports. I'm not a doctor here. So I'm going to describe the drill or the what they were doing, and you guys can take it from there. He had his knee stretched out, his leg stretched out, and it looked like almost like they were massaging around his kneecap, like pressing around his kneecap for maybe weeks.
They're trying to feel if the ligament's intact still. That's what
So
they're
like
feeling. They can feel your ACL and they know right away if it's torn or not. And then once they move the leg and they see it, they know exactly if it's torn or not.
What I did not see was the typical stability test where they kind of hold your leg in one hand, and they're trying to bend it one way or another while it's straight. I did not see them do that. That is typically what you see when there's ligament damage feared, from my understanding. What I saw was, again, it almost looked like they were massaging around his left kneecap. After a while, he stood up. The team broke team drills. And then as they got into a massive huddle, Cart came and took him into the locker room after practice. Again, we have to make it clear just in case it wasn't. It's not like they stopped practice and he needed to be carted away. It's not like an ambulance came onto the field. He was able to take himself off of the field. He chilled for a little bit, 10 minutes or so, until the end of practice, and then a cart came to take him to the locker room. You've seen that walk. Like, it's not the longest walk in the NFL, but when your superstar cornerback that you're relying on this year has any sort of knee issue, it makes total and complete sense to grab a cart and make that trip easier on him. There's no reason to make him walk all that far. So the cart was kind of a technicality.
Unless, and I've seen it many times, the player says, no, I want to walk this off. I'm fine. I want to walk this off. And so sometimes they're kind of hard-headed and they don't get on the cart because they don't want to. And sometimes, even if they are injured, they refuse to be taken off the field that way. Or Alonzo Mourning hopped off the damn court. Would not be assisted off the court.
Yeah, but like it's day two.
It's crazy, bro.
It's day 2 of training camp. Like, there's no reason to be a hero. He's been around this league long enough to know, like, you don't push it when you don't have to. It's a long, long season ahead. If we're talking about week 3, week 4, then who knows?
Brother, we had a quarterback here that thought his knee ligament could actually get fixed by osmosis. And he went back to practice and he blew it out right away because he refused to get surgery in the offseason. I don't know if you know that story about Tannehill. When he blew out his knee, he didn't have surgery. He let it repair on its own. And then it tore right away. And it was like, yeah, moron, that's not what you do with knee ligaments. You repair them, So athletes can do some of the weirdest things in the world. And, we saw Tannehill do something like that. So they're very prideful cats, dude.
Yeah, but I think Ramsey takes pretty good care of his body. I mean, he's what, 8 years in, give or take, maybe
Yeah,
7, 8, 9 years in, somewhere around that. And we're yet to see him sustain any sort of major injury, at least to the best of my knowledge, best of my memory. So like, it's a guy who knows how to take care of himself. I do not think that. I don't think he tries to thug out a walk to a walk. Plus, who among us would deny a cart, man? I would love a media cart, and like we walk half a block, if that,
yeah,
to
but we're
back to the
media
room.
members. We're slackers. It's a whole
Like,
different ballgame with us. We're
shoot,
you know,
man, there's never been a point in my life where I would rather walk than get a ride. You know,
I'm telling you, I'm with you there. I'd rather get the damn ride, man. So I'm with you there. That's for damn sure. All right. I was telling fans this. The good thing is, and you got it too, okay? Because I know you got it, and so did I, and so did everybody else. So when the draft rolled around and they took Cam Smith in the second round, well, why didn't you take a tight end? Why didn't you take a running back? Why didn't you take a tackle? Why didn't you take something else? Well, guess what? Now Cater Kohu's healthy with the hand, playing ball, and you've got now Cam Smith. And so, God forbid this is actually something serious. The Cam Smith pick becomes incredibly clutch
I
right now
mean, said
because
that right away. Like the people anybody that was upset at not taking like what was his name, Darnell Washington from Georgia,
right,
or I
whatever,
forget who else was on the board. It
whatever,
doesn't
running
matter at
back,
this
a
point.
tight end,
It
whatever.
didn't
Yeah,
matter. Like, I was kind of surprised that people forgot about Miami's cornerback situation last year. It was atrocious. It was dire. They were an Xavier Howard injury, like unplayable injury, away from having a actual emergency at cornerback, from literally pulling people off the street to start at cornerback. We're talking 2019 vibes once again, man. Like, it was that freaking bad. X was playing on half a groin. Groin was hanging on by a thread because he had to. Who
right.
else was? I mean, if literally, legitimately, if he went down last year, and Byron Jones is already hurt, Troy Williams is already hurt, Nick Needham is already hurt. Well, who the hell was playing outside corner? It's Cater and who? Justin Bethel, Keon Crossen. Keon Crossen was hurt last year too. It was bad. They needed that depth. Smith, he has some work to do. He has some ways to go. He is not ready to start. He
He's a
is not.
baby.
Yeah, he's not rip out the plastic, plug and play, ready to go yet. Like, he's not. It ain't ready yet. If season started tomorrow and Jalen
But with
couldn't play, it
Kohu's
would be
fine.
Xavier and Kohu
Yeah, but
outside.
with Kohu, you're fine out there, bro. I'm good with
Yeah,
Kohu. I got no problem with Kohu. I like Kohu. I'm a big Kohu fan. I think he's going to be better this year, to be quite honest. This kid's maturity is sick, and his physicality is crazy. So I'm a big Kohu believer, bro.
yeah, I
I
like
think
Cater.
he's going to be fine. Really, I do. I like him. I think he's going to be. If you need him, and you got Javon Holland back there also. So you got a wicked safety, dude, and if with X healthy, you know, a- again, I'm not saying that he's out or anything, and I hope he's not. I hope Jalen is healthy. It'll be a lot more fun to watch Jalen and X and Holland in a secondary. Don't get me wrong, but at least the Dolphins are somewhat prepared for this terrible
Yeah,
thing if it is true.
yeah.
That's it.
They have
You know?
better depth. They have better depth. Nick Needham's working his way to health as well. He was at practice today. Didn't participate, but he's out there. So they've got the players. But yeah, no, we're not. I really, unless one of the heavy hitters, unless we see a Rappaport or a Schefter come out tonight, I really wouldn't hold your breath until we talk to Mike McDaniel in the morning. So, anybody who thinks that I was going to hop on here with breaking news about Jalen Ramsey,
Well, Steven
that was
Gonzalez
not
is
going to
already
happen.
ripping you because you didn't break the story now, okay? So Steven's
Well,
ripping
I
you
guess I
already.
should. I'm gonna hand in my ESPN flag, my flag mic. Bro, like, I love you, but if I had that news, there's not a chance in hell I'm breaking it on this show and not on Sports
No
Center,
shit.
man.
No shit.
There's no
Really?
chance.
No shit. Really?
Like,
Shocker.
right? Like,
Shocker.
come on, guys. Come on, y'all. I said we
Shocker.
would talk about it. This is me talking about it. But like, there's nobody in this on this beat has that info right now, and is going to be withholding it. Like, nobody's got that. They're gonna keep that under wraps. We're gonna hear about it
Well, not yet, at least.
probably
Not yet.
first thing in the morning would be My guess, Mike talks at 10.
Some of us might be able to get it before that. I don't know. I don't know.
We all see. We all
I
see.
wouldn't count myself out on that one. So I'm digging.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So who stood out today?
I'm
What'd you like
sorry.
today? Did my boy Cameron Good look good? Did Cameron look good? Because he showed me a little something in the mini camp, like light was going on, and he knew exactly what the hell he was doing. So I don't know. Did you
I don't
see
know
anything
if
from my boy Cameron?
defensively, I'm not sure anybody necessarily stood out to the point that it requires recognition right now. I am
Kohu?
still.
Didn't Kohu have an interception?
I mean, Kohu picked Tua off first pass of the day, Tua's first pass of the day in 7-on-7 drills. What I loved about what Tua did immediately after, they ran essentially the same route right back at Kohu, different receiver, threaded the needle for a completion to Cedric Wilson. You like to see that kind of short memory from a quarterback because practice, what people don't want to talk about with practice interceptions, man, is that like this is the time to figure out what you can and can't get away with. You know what I mean? Like this is the time. If you're going to push the limit, if you're going to take a risk, you do that at practice. You don't risk that week one against the Chargers, when it can actually hurt you. So like you'd like to see him go right back at it and get it right the second time around. He probably should have.
This man survived flow. Forget about it, bro. This guy has the best memory to erase in the world. He survived flow, bro. I mean, give me a break. He survived a guy that hated him for a couple of years. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That's the ultimate test for any quarterback. You get drafted, and the guy that's coaching you hates you and doesn't want you around. That's a test right there.
Now, I would say that he probably should have thrown another one-on-one coverage to Jalen Waddle with Jalen Ramsey on him downfield. Ramsey just high pointed that, man. Like it was stride for stride. Maybe any other cornerback in the NFL, or a lesser cornerback that pass might have gotten through, but Ramsey's he's too good to do that against. So these battles are interesting. Bad day for receivers, though. Not a good day for receivers. Tyreek's been a little. When I say slow, I don't mean speed wise. I think he's slow to start in camp. His hands, like they're not. I've personally seen about 3 drops, maybe even 4 if I missed one, but definitely at least 3 drops. He had 2 today that he really should have caught. There was kind of an underthrown ball from Skylar Thompson on a go route against. I want to say his name is Ethan Bonner, number 38.
Oh yeah,
undrafted rookie out of Stanford. It was underthrown. I'm not going to argue with that. It was underthrown, but the ball bounced off Tyreek's chest plate. And, there's some debate in the media, right? Who, if Bonner got a hand on it or not, he didn't get no hand on it. It hit off his plate, off his chest plate. It's just that's something that we've seen Tyreek kind of do this past couple of days is, catch balls like that instead of like that, catching with his chest instead of with his hands. I'm sure it's something that he will get corrected. I'm sure it's something that he's a little frustrated and disappointed in himself about. But one thing we heard Mike McDaniel say about Tyreek last year is that Tyreek's the first guy to correct something when it's called out, during film sessions. So looking forward to seeing how he bounces back tomorrow. But still kind of a shaky day for receivers. But Skylar Thompson continues to, despite that underthrow, continues to look better than Mike White because a throw or two later, he hit Braxton Berrios for like a 70-yard touchdown. Obviously not 70 air yards, but it was a catch and run 70-yard touchdown, probably traveled about 40 yards or so.
Barry says he ran 30 of the yards.
Yeah, like I said, probably ran about 30 yards or so. Yeah. Bit of a busted coverage, but hit him in stride. It was a good throw. He looks more decisive. He looks more comfortable. He moves around in the pocket. Mike White has looked like kind of a statue. To be honest, it's been very stationary. It's been very stationary over the past 2 days, where it's just kind of like looking, and then the throws. The ball doesn't really have the zip that you want. He's not taking very many risks. I've seen him throw behind receivers. Again, season starts tomorrow. Skylar Thompson is QB2, and it's been that way since the spring. Like Skylar can still play.
Yeah, I've never been impressed with Mike White. I don't really understand the love affair that I've seen. I think it's just the local bullshit that always happens here with people. Anyway, follow me on this. Do you think Tyreek gets any suspensions from the NFL?
I don't really think so. Like, I don't
Okay.
want to like. It's hard to
All right.
comment on. Obviously, we've seen the video, first obtained by any Slater ass video.
Hey,
I've
and
seen it.
props to Slater. He got it before TMZ. That's pretty damn good, bro.
He got it, and he said, "Y'all gonna know exactly who got this, bro." So good for
Well,
him, man. That's a good get.
he's in with the cops, so they were investigating it. So he probably got the copy from the cops, is what is what it is. So he's got that in with the cops. So he always gets all the people that are arrested and all that kind of stuff. So I would imagine the cops gave it to him. But follow me on this. I fear he's going to get a game. I do. He had 2 incidents before that the NFL couldn't do anything on. If you look at the incident, of course, it's just a slap in the back of the neck. It's not the biggest thing in the world. But if you really look at the entire video, one, his friend had to stop him. It might have been worse than that slap. And then the second go around, there are like 6 people that got to play offensive line and stop him from going after him. The image of anger that was displayed on the video in both instances, I think that's where the NFL says, you got an anger issue, kid. You need a game and you need some counseling because you had some issues before you got in the league. We couldn't get you. Now we need to send a message to you. Here's a game. And I fear because, see, everybody keeps talking about the slap. Go look at the actions of the human being. And I think that the anger that he showed is what the NFL is going to react to more than the slap on the back of the neck. It could have been a lot worse if his buddy wasn't there, and it certainly would have been worse on the second go around if there weren't 6 different people trying to stop him from going after the guy. So to me, that's where he gets a game, and that's where I fear the NFL could have some
I
retaliation.
mean, like
Your
maybe
thought?
like, if they are going to suspend him, like it's really only worth a game. Just
Right,
like kind of
that's what
telling
I've
him
been
like,
saying from the get-go, 1
hey,
game.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, 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 don't do that. But like said, he's cooperating. He's taking response. He took responsibility for it yesterday. I don't know if he knew that the video was going to get out or not, but like I don't think that the video. It wasn't like as violent of an outburst as we
That's
initially were led to believe before the report came out that it was a slap in the back of the neck.
the problem with
Like
that.
you
You
can't,
keep looking at only at the slap
but like you can't put your hands on people. And I understand he had to be held back, but like
twice.
he was held back.
Twice.
He was held back. Like he snuck one
Twice.
in there, but he was held back. Like it happened.
Twice.
Like people get mad. I'm not saying it was okay for him to put his hands on the guy,
No,
but
it's not.
like
Of course, it's not okay.
I didn't really care about anything else in that video. Like yeah, you got mad and you got held back. Is what it is. Like we always like to play the well. What if there wasn't anybody there? What if he didn't get held back? What if
Those are the
he
facts.
didn't? But
Those
like
are the
that's
facts.
what if like but he
But
didn't.
the anger displayed there is scary because it means he can't control himself. And if he didn't have, the one individual in the one case, the slap would have been worse, and then the other 6 in the second go around, it would have been worse. So to me, the display of anger is what the NFL is going to look at and going to say, yeah, we got to send a message to this guy that this shit can't go on. And that's where I fear. I'm not wishing it. I'm not hoping. I hope the NFL just slaps him with a $5,000 fine and he's out of there and that's it. I'm sure there'll be a fine, but I kind of fear that they're going to hand him a game because of his priors. If he didn't
It
have
might.
that prior stuff, then maybe he gets away with it. But because he has the prior stuff that had to do with anger, and now you see this situation, I just kind of
Look, all
fear that's
right. This for Stephen Gonzalez. He like I don't know how breaking of news this is, but a source that I have within the NFL place PA did say that he believes the NFL is going to. They're not just going to take the county's word for it and say like, all right, well, it's resolved.
Oh no, they don't do that.
Done. Like it is an investigation. Like it is going to. They are going to be looking into it. I don't know if that's breaking news you're looking for, but like that's all we've got. That's all we got for now. Just as a precedent, though, like Alvin Kamara went to jail. Like he turned himself into jail for an assault last year. It just got resolved like a month ago.
Now you'll see a suspension.
That was not even last summer. It was
and the suspension will come for him now. Yeah, and the suspension will come for him now. Now that everything's been settled, now's when the NFL will lay the suspension on him. Yeah, he's gonna
We will
be
see. So like
suspended.
I'm saying, like it might. I'm saying it might take a while. Like I've been saying all summer, like it's not something to like lose sleep over, or like pace around, stare at the wall, and think about. Like it'll come when it comes, and there's nothing that you can do about it when it does. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing you can do about the NFL deciding to suspend Tyreek Hill. Maybe he appeals, maybe he doesn't. Either way, like the process, there's a precedent of it. There's a historical precedent of this process taking a while. So I would just kind of buckle in. I don't know if you're seeing a, what is breaking news here
Joe
is
Burrow just went
Joe
down
Burrow
grabbing his
being,
calf, and he
yeah,
has it in a sleeve, and he hobbled his way down to the field.
he was actually carted off the field, the middle of the field.
So, yeah,
Oof. It's a calf, holding his calf.
Yeah, that's
So
not
like, I
good.
don't know.
And
I
that
don't
could
know
be a pull,
what
that could
happened
be a
there.
strain, and of course, it could be a tear. But it might not be something that's serious, and he might be out for a short amount of time. Who knows? But yeah, man, it's football, and it sucks, unfortunately. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friends?
Well, I will be on SportsCenter tonight to talk about the Jalen Ramsey injury. That is airing in the 6:00 hour. I do not anticipate having an update by then, but if I do, that is where you're going to see it. I'm also, if you got to drive tonight, if you're heading to the gym, you just want something to listen to, I will be on ESPN Radio from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. tonight. Tune in. Tweet at me if your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, anything you want to talk about. I think we have a call-in line as well if you want to chat. I will be on ESPN Radio.
Call him and insult him. Yes, exactly.
Call me, insult me. Just talk for as long as you possibly can, so that I don't have to. And then I'm basically getting paid for you talking. So I would appreciate. I'm fucking with you guys. But yeah, if you do want to call in, you do want to engage, we always do appreciate that, man. It makes the job a lot more fun. Talking sports with other people, talking sports with the country. So that is my night tonight. That is also going to be my night tomorrow night, and also going to be my night, I think, Monday. So, a lot of radio coming up, a lot of opportunities. Man.
Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ, and we'll catch up with him again next week doing our thing with our Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, I shall see you this weekend, my man. I'll be out there in camp.
Yep.
Be good. There you go. The great Marcel Louis-Jaques.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.